Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. This is Power Play, and we're joined, as always, by Chris Uminski. Chris, how you doing?
Um, been better, but it could certainly be worse.
Yeah, so Bruins loses two straight. First time this season, not great. What happened these last two games, Chris?
So I want to start with I'm more upset about the loss last night against the Panthers than I am about the loss uh to Tampa. Um,
Yeah, what we get an own goal on the Panthers and we still lose. How'd this happen?
yeah, I don't Jesus, the for most of the game last night, Florida did not look very good, but then they started scoring. It was all in all, it was pretty back and forth. Just these last two nights, it seemed like something was kind of off with the Bruins. Like they looked like a regular NHL team and not like the gods that they've been all year. Um,
Yeah,
but
what would you say like the biggest kind of shortcoming we've had in these last two games is? What jumps off the page to you?
for me, we got to stay out of the penalty box. We're spending way too much time shorthanded. Um, and then the flip side of that is when we are on the man advantage and we do have a power play, we're not scoring. We're not converting on the power plays. So scoring has been a little bit down. Injuries haven't been helping either. Jake DeBrusk is still out, and he's going to be out for a while. Um, and then Charlie McAvoy was out for a little bit of the Lightning game. It looked like he like dislocated his shoulder or something. Then it looks like they like popped it back, get back in there.
Yeah, very, very hockey player ish. Is like, yeah, just pop it back in. You get out there. Yeah,
um,
we got players playing on broken legs in this league. Like, get the fuck back out there.
yeah, something similar. Like Bergeron took a puck off the face the other night too. But yeah, so like scoring has been down. I feel like decision making hasn't been great either. Even with some of the horrible decisions that Florida was making last night, the loss shouldn't have happened. It seems like Jeremy Swayman has been a little bit off too. You don't have to worry when Linus Ullmark is in net.
Yeah, you kind of talk about Mark a little bit. How much of a revelation has he been for the Bruins team this season?
So it's I want to know where, and I'm sure Buffalo Sabres fans want to know too, where this Linus Ullmark has been the entire time. Probably he's probably the front runner for the Vezina, the best goalie trophy. He broke some kind of a record recently, I think. Let me.
Yeah, we'll pull that up. Obviously, we're thrilled. Goaltending has always, or at least in recent history, has really been like a strong point for the Bruins. Moved from
Yeah,
Thomas to Tuca, and now Allmark stepping up. So it's kind of great that he's like the next great in the pantheon of goalies. But did you find that record?
I did. He actually is the fastest NHL goalie to reach 25 wins in history.
So that's pretty amazing right there.
Right. Yeah, and that's his numbers have been off the charts. And then like Jeremy Swayman is still an extremely good goalie. We easily have the best tandem in the league, but I don't know. He hasn't the last couple of days it's been a little bit iffy with him. Let in a couple of soft goals last night, I thought. Especially the OT game winner, 2 seconds into the overtime. Was a
Yeah,
very
it's not great. It's not what
yeah,
you want to see.
no.
But I mean, it's two losses. It's the first losing streak, as you said before recording, of the season. This isn't time to hit the panic button or anything, right? It just happens.
Tear it down.
Okay, yeah, it's over. We're gonna be sellers at the deadline now. It's all over. But no, I mean, obviously, we're being a
Yeah,
little
yeah, no.
facetious
I'm
here.
I'm curious to see what the Bruins are going to do at the trade deadline. That's a couple weeks away. Um, I personally wouldn't mind if they didn't do anything at all.
Just keep it together. Keep
Yeah,
riding with what you have. Don't mess with the chemistry.
right, exactly. I'd love a guy like Patrick Kane on the
Sure.
team, but
Yeah.
I have chemistry concerns with him.
Hmm.
And then no matter who you bring in, first thing we have to do is we have to pay Pasternak.
Hmm.
we have to re-sign him.
Yeah, so that's top priority right now. So obviously, if anything happens, we'll update you all on the trade deadline.
Right.
But you're not expecting them to be crazy buyers making anything big here.
I hope not.
Yeah. So that's kind of a good spot to be in, where it's like, well, honestly, adding someone would potentially hurt the chemistry. It's good, it's solid. But what's coming up before the trade deadline is the All-Star break, and kind of going into the chemistry. The Bruins. How are they looking out there?
So yeah, so I'm. Oh, goodbye.
It happens. I have stuff fall behind me all the time while recording.
I have all kinds of gripes about the way the NHL does its All-Star game. Number one, that Brad Marchand is not going to be a part of it.
Yeah, Brad Sean just like sent those vibes out to knock the jersey down. He's like, "You better mention me, Chris."
No, but we're gonna have Linus Olmark is gonna be a goalie for the Eastern Conference, representing the Atlantic. David Pastrnak got voted in by the fans, and then Jim Montgomery is going to be the coach for the Atlantic Division for the Eastern Conference.
So yeah, that's pretty solid, right?
Yeah, we're well represented, considering that every single team gets one player in the game.
Yeah.
Which I still think is a very, very silly rule. I can't think of a single Blackhawk that deserves to be in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean,
name one team.
I don't know. God, I don't know how every other league does it. I don't think the NFL does it that way. I don't think the NBA, MLB might. I don't know.
I don't think so.
That's the case.
MLB is completely voted in, isn't it?
Is it? All right. So yeah. So hockey a little different here. I guess they want to have everyone who's a fan have a reason to tune into the game, right?
Right. Yeah, I guess.
So.
And the game's gonna be in South Florida this year. That'll be exciting for them.
Yeah, I saw last night when I was watching the Celtics and Lakers, they were advertising it, and it had all the palm trees, and I was like, yeah, it feels like they're playing in Miami this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be good for them. Obviously, the Panthers just beat us last night at the time of recording, but yeah, so that'll be exciting. Any like big snubs other than Marchand that you want to point out? Could be Bruins, could be anyone.
Not really. I mean, Brad Marchand, I think, is the big snub. Patrice Bergeron, too. Again, I hate the one player per team rule. But I think without that rule, though, almost the entire Atlantic Conference team would just be made up of Bruins.
Right. I mean, they are doing considerably better than most other teams, so it makes sense.
Yes.
All right. Well, anything else you wanted to mention on this one before we get on out of here?
Nope. I think that's it. We got Carolina later today. After the last couple of games, I'm a little nervous. This is the first time I've been nervous before a Bruins game this season.
Yeah. So Carolina, obviously, first in the Metropolitan Division, 31-9-8.
A relative distant number 2 in the league.
Right. So it should be a fun game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we'll obviously next time we come back, we'll touch on how they did there. And other than that, Chris, where can they find you online?
Best place is on Twitter. That's at Chris Uminski. And then I'm also on TikTok. That's at Chris Uminski. Sorry, my Twitter is Chris_Uminski.
Right. Yeah. So Chris_Uminski on Twitter, and then Chris Uminski on TikTok. Obviously, the clip that I take out there, I'll tag you in that so people can, if they find our TikTok Wicked Sports, they can find yours easily there. And then also, you got the Whalers account. I always love that. I want to bring that up. Where can they?
That's at Whalers Revival. We're gonna bring them back. I am the secretary of the Whalers.
Yes. Future, perhaps GM of the Whalers. We'll see how far this hockey show can take us here, Chris.
I'm gonna take it far. Don't you worry.
So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at the fake BMAR. This BMAR. Our channel is on Twitter at Wicked Good Sport or AW Everything. Instagram Wicked Good Everything and Wicked Good Sports. Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Everything. And on TikTok, as I said, search Wicked Sports, search Wicked Good Everything. Chris, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Have a good night, Brian.
You too, and we'll see you all in the next one.